Greetings, my friends. God has truly graced us with a beautiful evening, has he not?
Yes.
I just love the way the trees seem to dance in the evening breeze framed by the sunset. I wonder, have you ever considered where these trees in the heart of our fair city came from? What about the shrubs, the flowers? I may be able to enlighten you. My name is Cherilla Lillian, and I was the founder of Honolulu's Outdoor Circle. I was born in 1861 in Utica, New York, the baby of a family of 6 sisters and 1 brother. We lived on a farm, and it was there that I was first seized with great reverence for the land. I loved the outdoor life and the miracle of growing things. Our family had deep roots in the Congregational Church, and as I was growing up, I learned my proper role in life was service to my family, to my community, and to God. As a result, I have spent every day of my existence contemplating how I might contribute to this wonderful planet God has given us. How might I serve? My first instinct was to serve the children of the world. I found the perfect opportunity to do so when I turned 21 right here in Honolulu. The Hawaii Evangelical Association, a Congregational church group, had founded a small school for young Native Hawaiian girls. It was called Oʻahu Cemetery Seminary, a wonderful place for the island's female youth to be properly educated, not only in book learning, but Christian principles as well. I suppose they thought my work at the seminary suitable, for after 1 year I was hired to teach 2nd grade and serve as assistant principal to the Punahou Preparatory School. Now, this institution had been founded in 1841 to teach the children of missionaries stationed in the islands of the Pacific. I am led to believe it exists even today as the hub for shaping bright young minds of Honolulu's elite. Well, soon my time teaching other people's children was eclipsed by teaching my own children. In 1884, I married Frederick Lowrey. He had come to Honolulu in 1879 to work for a small hardware and lumber company that eventually became the famed Lures & Cook. We had 4 children, 3 boys and a daughter. During these years, I dedicated my life to my husband and my children. I shared with them my love for the land that I had developed growing up on the farm. We traversed the beautiful trails in the mountains, the ones right above us here. But it was incredibly important to us that the children knew these hikes were not simply for recreation. It was crucial that they understood their responsibility to care for this beautiful land, this gift from God. We spent family holidays clearing the trails and cutting back invasive plants that didn't belong. I taught the children to raise fruits and vegetables and flowers, even livestock. Well, I can assure you there were no chickens in all of Honolulu to rival the Lowrey chickens. I like to think I created a happy home for my husband and children. This idyllic existence was short-lived. Disease ran rapid through the city one year, and our only daughter fell ill with rheumatic fever. I prayed. Oh, how I prayed. But it was not enough. She was just 16. Even today, so many years later, I can't help but think how I failed her. I was her mother, and what is a mother but a guardian protector? I was powerless in the face of this foul disease. All I could do was comfort her and promise her that everything would be all right. Empty promises. I must console myself with the fact that the Lord simply intended her for a higher purpose. Her passing was His will, and His will be done even though we do not always understand it. I spent the next several months reminding myself that there was more to the world than grief. God had created a world of unimaginable beauty, and it was to this beauty I chose to occupy my attention. I joined the Kilohana Arts League, a group dedicated to advancing the arts in the community. And Frederick and I took time to travel. We visited the great cities of Europe, Paris, Venice, and Rome. Now, these places were nothing short of miracles, with their parks and public gardens full of flowers and beautiful tree-lined avenues. See, during this time, the Garden City movement was popular in Europe, and I could see its impact on the places we visited. Oh, the people seemed so happy and full of pride to call their city home. I had heard a similar movement gaining momentum in the United States called City Beautiful. I thought, if I could merge these two movements and bring their benefits back to Hawaii, a place already respected internationally for its staggering beauty, why, we islanders would enjoy the highest quality of life in the world. I was convinced that harmonious architectural design and artistic and attractive urban landscaping could help shape civic pride and virtue amongst its citizens. Coincidentally, it was the perfect cause for the women of Hawaii. I dreamed of transforming Honolulu's dusty streets and lanes into a city full of gardens. I brought my ideas back to the ladies of the League, who embraced the cause. Unfortunately, the League soon disbanded, but several ladies of the League were searching for new artistic and civic outlet, and they found it in the organization we conceived and called the Outdoor Circle. I had the honor of being elected that organization's very first president in 1912. We thought the best way to go about our work was to create neighborhood circles so we could each focus on influencing our neighbors. So we formed the Manoa Circle, the Palama Circle, Kalihi Circle, even vacant lot circles. In everything we did, our goal was to enhance and preserve the natural beauty of Honolulu. First, we focused on planting shade trees along the streets. Then, we tried to convince city officials that we needed sidewalks and curbs, not shoddy assemblages of dirt and cobblestone. We demanded concrete. Then we visited our neighbors to implore them to remove old and unsightly fences. We organized cleanup crews to remove debris from vacant lots. We encouraged everyone to plant attractive trees and plants and flowers suitable to tropical life. The Outdoor Circle created parks, plazas, playgrounds for children in areas that had been completely barren before our work. And I was convinced these efforts strengthened our families. Well, it is true, is it not, that an attractive city elevates one's thoughts to higher things. All this seems to be the job of the City Planning Commission, you may say. Well, I have been on said board, and I am sorry, but I must say it was a farce. The people of Europe insist and are provided funds for well-paved streets, for canals and ponds that provide recreation and beauty, for public gardens for contemplation and strolling. In America, we have exalted the right of the private property far above that of the community. The city cannot suppress smoke, limit height of buildings, or even plan street improvements without an injunction from the courts. The beauty of our city was sacrificed to the desires of selfish individuals for profits. And it follows then that our biggest battle for the beautification of our city was against billboards. Billboards had practically destroyed the beauty of Honolulu. Well, I am sure you all remember that immense pickle sign that was placed on the road to Waikiki, completely blocked the view to Manoa Valley, and those glaring auto tire signs placed all around the island. Good Lord. We made many attempts to protest these, but our efforts did no good. It was time for a more aggressive tactic, a boycott. We had to encourage the people of Honolulu not to buy those pickles or those tires as long as they were advertised on billboards. Now, a boycott can be a difficult endeavor. One is asked to give up something one desires, or in some cases has come to depend upon. Frequently, they fail outright. But when we launched our boycott, you should have seen how fast those billboards came down. Why, in 1913, 34 firms were using billboards. By 1917, only 6. Oh, our campaign became a heated battle, and we made enemies. I remember one editorial that read, "By all that is reasonable, fair and square, has the conduct of my business been such to merit these attempts to destroy it? Hasn't there been a good deal of misplaced enthusiasm in this anti-billboard campaign? Doesn't it look a little like persecution?" Persecution, I believe, is a harsh word. It is also a word that implies something wrong has been unjustly committed. Well, I ask you, is there anything wrong or unjust about seeking to preserve the beauty of nature as God intended? The very beauty that attracts people to these islands, that makes the proprietors, there's the word, proprietors of billboards so much money. I think not. We often met resistance from business owners and city officials, but there was no shortage of powerful allies to be found. Charles S. Judd, the territorial forester, provided us with young saplings and shrubs to plant and was happy to advise which plants would thrive best in which location. Judd, ever an advocate for local flora, helped us to plant as much of the heavenly hibiscus as we could. And when we sought to adorn the city with more exotic fare, we turned to Professor Joseph Rock at the College of Hawaii. He supplied us with seed samples from his travels to Japan, Burma, and the Philippines. Fascinating man. Somewhat strange. But he was happy to give talks to the ladies of the circle about his plant collecting in far-off lands. Now, we knew that women could affect public opinion about how our city should look. Despite our inability to vote, we had influence that could cause major change. But we did not want to be seen as simply an outspoken, privileged group of the island's social elite. We wanted to reach all the women of the city, not just the well-educated and wealthy. So we adopted a very simple motto: do something for the city in which you live, and you do something for yourself. I am proud to say the Outdoors Circle got things accomplished. We went from a beginning membership of 7 in 1912 to 555 members in 1917. We planted over 600 shower trees across the city. In addition, we planted crepe myrtle, false pepper trees, royal palm. We beautified the grounds of public buildings like the Palace and Queen's Hospital, and saw that waste paper cans were placed on the street for public use. These efforts made a real difference in our community, and I could not be more proud. I retired as president of the Outdoor Circle in 1917 to help our young men during the war. But Outdoor City members implored me to return and continue our billboard battle and our efforts to build the city beautiful. 1 year later, I found myself once again elected to the presidency of the Outdoor Circle. I was overjoyed. My dream had become a reality, and I was ready to get back to work. Imagine the irony. I died of a stroke 2 days later. My life has not been one of high adventure, fame. I did not travel the world. I did not save men's lives. In fact, it is entirely possible you will forget me completely when you leave this place. You may return to the hustle and bustle of the city and that tourist mecca that is Kalakaua Avenue. That is a beautiful street, is it not? The Outdoor Circle planted 95 true mahogany trees, 619 coconut palm, and 1,000 oleander on Kalakaua Avenue. All that on one street alone. And try as you may, you will not forget my legacy. Just 3 years ago, the Outdoor Circle, still a thriving force in our community, celebrated its 100th anniversary. I lived a Christian life, dedicated to providing a pleasant home for my husband and children, and making my community a better place to live. What more could a woman ask for? Good night, my friends. And please do not forget to cherish the beauty that is our island home. Thank you.